On the second part of it, let's discuss the long-term implications of these changes. Now, for a short term, in such a situation when the interest rates go down, or let's say the cost of capital, what it actually means, goes down, that is all right. But if the cost of capitals or the interest rates stay low for a long time or extended time, then what it basically means, it is setting a very low bar to efficiency. Now, let's take an example. You want to take a loan from the bank. If the interest rates are high, you will only take a loan from the bank if you believe that you can use it prudently and efficiently so that it creates a maximum value, and even after you have paid a high interest, you can make certain profits for yourself. But other way around, when the interest are low, you are not under much pressure to put it in efficient use. So you can basically afford some inefficiencies and even corruption. And sometimes easy money or low cost of capital do promote inefficiencies and corruption. I hope it makes sense to you. The other thing is that low CRR, cash reserve ratio, means more money in the economy. There are more transactions happening, more business happening, and so the government and banks are earning more money. While the one losing money is the working class. How is it so? Is it so because when there are a lot of transactions happening, the banks are earning money. With each transaction, as we have discussed earlier, in the credit economy, it has more money to be lent back again. So it is making money. Moreover, the bank themselves impose transaction charges whenever you take a loan or do any transaction. So it adds to its money. The government imposes taxes, value added taxes. So on most of the transactions, there is some or the other tax to be paid to the government. So that's why the government is earning, and the more it happens, the more the government earns. Let's take an example like let's say the interest rates are very low, and for some reason you speculate that the real estate prices will go high. There will be inflation in real estate. So you just take some loan from your bank and park it in real estate. The real estate prices go high, a little high. Now when people around you realize that interest rates are so low that they can make a significant profit in real estate, a lot of people are going to the bank and taking money from the bank and parking it in real estate. So the bank is earning because of the transaction charges for each loan, and each time there is a loan, it has got more money to be dispersed. Now the government is imposing taxes and registry fees on the transactions of land, and the more the transactions, the more the fees or the money it gets, and it begins a chain of inflation. So the banks are earning money and the government is earning money, and for some time the people or the working class putting their money in that real estate is also earning money. But at the point there will be a bubble burst where nobody is interested anymore to buy or put money in the real estate because it has far exceeded its value. The banks have taken their transaction charges, the governments have taken their taxes, and that's not going to come back. So who is going to bear the money is someone who didn't have the larger perspective of the economy or the real estate, and that probably will be someone from the working class itself. I hope most of us can relate to it. In 2008, there was a real estate bubble burst in US, and because our economy had also significantly opened and there were multinational companies working in India, it was said that if America sneezes, other countries catch cold. We were not that bad, but it did had a significant effect on us. And why do I mention it? So that we can relate it. So I hope this much is what we can get around now. Low interest rate also means that there is less incentive to save money. So whenever you are back on your job and you have money, you may find yourself spending more. Some of the betterments, however, will be propelled to be entrepreneurs, because it is the best time to be entrepreneurs, as the cost of capital is very low. The risk on taking a loan is all time low. while some other may just decide on austerity. Uh, in some subtle manner, it is how the economy changes our habits and attitudes. And COVID-19 will be the largest, biggest story of our time and will leave a lasting impression. Now, how does it change me personally? Is that I have thought of two things. One is the double the value principle, and other is the mountain principle. Now, what is it? Now, a decade back or more, when I was in Delhi, I bought a cycle. Now, most of us had been very keen on cycling in our college days and earlier, but as we grew up, we disowned the cycle, and quite a lot of us may not even have a cycle anymore. But I was quite keen and interested in cycling to the border of it being as a passion, and I had a cycle with me almost all my life. So I bought a cycle in Delhi. I used to cycle long distances, and most of the people with along with me were the laborers, and that was okay. One day the cycle was stolen. What I did, the same evening I went to the cycle shop and bought another cycle. What does it signify? Is that for now is that if I now think on buying a car, let's say, then whatever reasons I am giving myself to buy a car for me should be valid even if the car is broken or stolen. If the value should be so much high that in case the car is out of use, then I should be motivated enough to immediately buy another car. So that should be the value that the car is generating to me. The other thing is I should have enough money not only to buy a car, but when I buy a car and it gets stolen, to buy another car. So I should have double the saving to whatever I am thinking to spend. So that is one principle which I now decide to follow for myself. The other is the mountain principle. I have been a seafarer most of my working life. So I have only been living in a suitcase or earlier a kit bag. And I realized the real necessities to life are very little, minuscule. So for myself, my own use, I will buy only those things which can easily fit in a suitcase or a carry bag, and the value of it should be like if I go on a trekking or to my ship, I should like to carry it with me. So if it fits in my carry bag and I value it when I go for my ship or on a mountaineering trekking, then only I will buy it for myself. So that is the mountain principle. We all in some way need to introspect and be a better judge to our situation. I hope this raised your curiosity and now it makes a better sense of understanding of economy and how we should or we may try to adapt ourselves to the prevailing economic situation. Feel free to leave a comment. You agree with it, you do not agree with it, you have something constructive to add to it. Be my guest. Take care. We'll see you around. Stay cheerful.